In Power Rangers Turbo, a mysterious character known only as the Phantom Ranger was introduced. When the Rangers needed them most, the Phantom Ranger equipped them with a new set of Zords called the Rescue Zords. Later, in Power Rangers in Space, he gave them the Delta Megaship and the Battleizer. His identity was unknown, and although there were plans to reveal his identity throughout Turbo, in Space, and even Time Force, this never happened, and to this day we still have no confirmation on his identity. There have been many theories over the years, ranging from Justin, the Blue Ranger's dad, to a ghost robot embodiment of past Rangers. In this video, I plan on explaining my theory. The closest we've gotten to an official explanation comes from an interview with Chip Lynn, a prominent Power Rangers creative figure who was the showrunner during the second half of Turbo, which includes the Phantom Ranger saga. He also wrote the Phantom Ranger episodes himself. In an interview with him in 2011, he was asked who he thought the Phantom Ranger was. He had this to say, and I quote, "The truth is that we ran out of time before we were able to fully develop a story for the Phantom Ranger with everything going on. If I were to come up with something now that I think would fit properly, I'd want a past Ranger to return like Billy. If I remember right, the last time we saw him, he was on Aquitar. I'd create a backstory that had Ecliptor be a failed Robot Ranger experiment created by Billy, and in order to correct that mistake, he created the Phantom Ranger powers. Being the first man-made, non-Zordon suit, his powers would be very limited, which would be why you never saw him for long. I'd have the Rangers all get captured and send the Phantom Ranger in to save the day. The bad guys would demand his powers or they would end the Rangers. That's when it would be revealed that Billy was the Phantom Ranger. Of course, he'd have a trap laid out in the end that would get him the Phantom powers back and free all the Rangers in the end. This is not canon though, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm just brainstorming an idea that I think is plausible and that I'd like to see happen." End quote. At first glance, this seems alright, but it still leaves questions open. The biggest one is, how could Billy have built Ecliptor if Ecliptor raised Corone since she was a child? That would mean Billy would have built him at least 10 years prior, so Billy would have been 8 at the oldest. Not to mention that it just wouldn't make sense for 8-year-old Billy to do that. Also, if Ecliptor was the problem, why would Billy help out almost exclusively in Turbo and give the Rangers Zords about half a year before Ecliptor was going to attack? Well, I've come up with a way to patch this. So here it is. The Phantom Ranger gave the Rangers the Rescue Zords when they were in dire straits fighting Metallosaurus. I imagine that the show we watched actually had the timeline tampered with. The original timeline saw the Rangers defeated. Billy, seeing Earth being conquered by Divatox from Aquitar, decided he needed to do something. He developed time travel technology. Keep in mind, Billy is only about 18, 19 at this point, and time travel hasn't been invented yet. So, Billy does his best to build a time machine to go back in time. His intention is to build a new set of Zords for the Rangers and to build a Robot Ranger to give the Zords to the Turbo Rangers so that Earth isn't conquered. Unfortunately, Billy goes back way too far because this is the first time anyone's even attempted building a time travel device. He goes back about 10 years too far. He builds the Rescue Zords and the Robot Ranger and programs him to do his job. Billy goes back to the future only to find that things have gotten worse. The Rangers defeated Divatox, but now the United Alliance of Evil has taken over the entire universe. So, Billy goes back in time with the plan to build a new Megazord and Battleizer and reprogram the Robot Ranger to give this stuff to the in-space Rangers. However, something goes wrong when he's reprogramming the Robot Ranger. He gains his own artificial intelligence and becomes evil. He destroys Billy's time machine and goes off to work for Dark Spectre under the name Ecliptor. Unable to build a new time machine on Earth due to Aquitian technology being more advanced, Billy has no choice but to make a sort of homemade Power Ranger, the Phantom Ranger. He realizes that if anyone finds out who he is, it might mess with time in an unpredictable manner, so he keeps his identity a secret and gives the Zords he's made to the Rangers when they need them. The last we see the Phantom Ranger is during the in-space finale. The reason for this is that at the end of this finale, the United Alliance of Evil is destroyed for good, meaning that after this episode, it was impossible for Billy's dystopian future to happen. As such, he vanishes back to his new repaired timeline and the Phantom Ranger is never seen again. So yeah, that's my theory on who the Phantom Ranger is. It kind of takes the closest explanation we have and makes it a little more canon in my eyes. If you want to take it, if you don't want to take it, it's up to you. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is true, and That's pretty much it, and I'll see you. Bye.